And we call it blues. That's why. Crawling winds, yes, yeah, blues. All can move. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. And we call it blues. Got those winds, yes.
So many times when you're repainting, you've got to pull your blinds down and your drapes, and the curtain rods, they've got to come down sometimes. But you know what happens is over time they start loosening up where the molly and the screw go into the wall. So what you need to do is pull those screws out, take the molly out because it's already loose, and now it's time to repatch. So, you know, unfortunately, this is just one of the casualties of paint war. We're going to use a product called Durabond 20. And it's a powder mix, and we're just going to make a small batch here. We don't need to make a ton. Normally you'd make it up in a whole tray, and you know, you do it for patching some seams and big things, but we really just need a little bit. So what we're going to do is you can get a nice little look at here, a little close look. Make it a little bit of a mess here. So we're going to mix it up, kind of like almost like a peanut butter consistency. You know? Yeah, there we go. It's mixing up. I feel like I'm doing a cooking show. You know, yes, we're going to put some, we want to put a little bit of flour with some eggs and some water together. And then she goes like this. Like that. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? A very, very famous chef who I'm just playing around with. In my opinion, is one of the greatest chefs ever put on television. Alright, so we mixed our Durabond 20 into a peanut buttery kind of a mixture here. And this goes pretty quick. Or I should say it dries pretty quick. This is called Durabond 20. It's supposed to set up in 20 minutes. But, you know, we'll see about that. And let's apply. Okay, here's what we got. We're going to take it and we're going to press it into the hole. We don't need to make a big mess out of this thing because it's got the consistency of peanut butter. And the nice thing about it is if you mix it up a little thicker and a heavier consistency, it's not going to sag on you. It's going to stay in that hole. And what we did is we put our first coat in there, and we're nice and thin. And we scraped it off so you don't have a lot of extra Durabond or wet Durabond around it, and that's really an advantage. I'll tell you what, when I used to train people how to paint and how to do patching and mudding, what I would do is I would make sure that they sanded their own patches, because if you know homeowners and you know people that try to do their own patching, they stick it on real thick and it's like just a big lump on the wall. Well, if you have to sand that, you understand that you don't need to use so much product sticking out over the hole because you're trying to float it nice and even. So what I did here is I made it real smooth, real tight to the wall, and that's going to set up real nicely. And then on the second patch, we're going to skim coat it just around the edges and over the top and float it real lightly, and you'll have virtually a perfect patch.